down Monday night versus the Cleveland Browns, 32-13. And those 13 points were just in mop-up duty. Like, this was a complete shutdown. Myles Garrett was a man among boys out there. He was flexing on them, flexing on Joe Burrow. Guys, the Bengals looked terrible. The overreaction or not overreaction for this overreaction Tuesday, the Bengals will miss the playoffs because Jamar Chase is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Wow. So as you guys know, the Cincinnati Bengals are a very pass-happy offense. Joe Burrow has 305 attempts on the season passing, and they have just 183 rushing attempts on the season so far. 7 of those are from Jamar Chase, and 8 of those are from Joe Burrow. As you guys know, Jamar Chase will miss the next. It's 3 to 5 weeks now because this is his first game that he missed with a apparent hip injury. I don't know the extent of his injury, but it was a hip injury. If the Bengals miss the playoffs, it is not because of Jamar Chase. It won't be because of Joe Burrow. It won't be because of T. Higgins or Boyd or because of the defense. It's because that O-line is the worst offensive line in the NFL. This offensive line, I'd rather have my high school offensive line than this NFL offensive line, just to be honest. Joe Burrow is getting less than 2.5 seconds per pass attempt. So by the time it takes me to say Joe Burrow, he's getting sacked. He has somebody in his face. 2.5 seconds. He has been sacked 29 times so far this young NFL season. Guys, we're just going into the 9th game. So in 8 games, he has been sacked 29 times. You do the math there. It's at 2.5 to 3 times a game. He is getting hit a lot. And they're just not like baby-ass hits. He's getting hit a lot. Like pounded. Looking at their next few games moving forward though. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. They're not easy. Now, the Bengals are 4-4 right now. I believe they are second in the AFC North, and I think the Ravens are sitting at number 1 at 5-3, if I'm not mistaken. But they do play Carolina next week, or their next game, I should say. PJ Walker is coming on, but allegedly Baker Mayfield is supposed to come back. Is that a mistake for Carolina? To be determined. Then they play a bad Pittsburgh team, but it's still a rivalry game. It's still a division game, so you cannot sleep on that game whatsoever. Then they play Tennessee, Kansas City, and the Browns. And I believe that Browns game is when Deshaun Watson would have a second game back, if I'm not mistaken. So they really legitimately have one win that I can mark up for them right now moving forward, and that's Carolina, and that's next week. So if they were to go beat Carolina and then lose to Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Kansas City, and the Browns moving forward, that puts them at 5-8. That puts them at 5-8 moving forward. Now, I feel like in the AFC, it is going to take 10 wins or a division championship to make the playoffs. At eight losses going into the last 3 games of the season, you can't get 10 wins. Now, is there a chance that they can beat all those teams? Absolutely. Absolutely. Will they? No. They won't beat Tennessee. They won't beat the Chiefs. Hell, they probably won't even beat the Browns. The only chance they have at making the playoffs is winning these next 2 games and going 6-6. If they can split these next 5-6 games, they have a shot. If they lose to Pittsburgh, their playoff chances are 0. I think if the Cincinnati Bengals lose to Pittsburgh Steelers in 2 weeks, their playoff chances are slim to none. That's just the way it is. And it's not because of the injury to Jamar Chase. It's not the play of Joe Burrow. We can chalk it up to the play calling a little bit. We can chalk it up to maybe Joe Burrow hangs onto the ball a little too long. 3 seconds is a little too long, apparently. It's just the fact that their offensive line sucks. How do you beat that? Quick, intermediate passes, run the ball. I don't know. Bengals are going to miss the playoffs, guys. Bengals are going to miss the playoffs. We are not going to have a repeat Super Bowl champion this year or even a repeat team. Just, it is what it is. If you like what you just saw, click right here to check out our latest video. And, of course, click right here to subscribe. And as always, Man Our Nation, rise up.